Hi, I'm Edward Wright with Campus Reform. Today we're joined by my colleague Ben Woodward of the Leadership Institute. Campus Reform is a project of the Leadership Institute, and he's here today to talk to us about, the job hunt, job searching for young students, for really Americans across the board in the age of the coronavirus. So Ben, thanks for joining us. I want to start off with, I guess, how the coronavirus has affected what you do. A lot of what you do at the Leadership Institute and what a lot of our colleagues do is put on trainings, put on, seminars, put on just events for people to better their job skills, to find the right job for them, to find the next job. How has the coronavirus changed all that? How has it changed what you're doing and how you're reaching more people to help them in the workforce?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Eduardo. Really thrilled to be a part of this and to talk to the viewers about this. In terms of how it's affected us, very significantly, as well as the career guidance that the Leadership Institute's Career Programs Division offers. We do a lot of trainings in different career skills. And of course, we're no longer able to do those trainings in person. And that's had some positives and some negatives. So obviously the negatives being that it's more difficult now than ever to network, and Leadership Institute trainings were a great way for people to do that. However, in some ways, we've been able to make a success of it. We've been running webinars, weekly webinars, about 2 or 3 a week, where we've been able to provide access to essential skills. And actually, those have been viewed by more people than would usually come to our trainings on average, because, of course, they're accessible now on a much wider scale. So in many ways, we've been able to reach more people, though I think that essential kind of person-to-person element of the trainings is essential, and we're missing that right now.
And so it sounds like the trainings are having a good turnout with the things that are going on because people are able to join online. I think something we're looking at Campus Reform from talking to students is that whereas these students would have typically, been right in the middle of applying to summer internships, or if they were on the verge of graduating, they were looking for that job right out of college. They're no longer able to do that, or they're struggling to do that. A lot of companies have done hiring freezes. Maybe they don't have the same resources on campus to pursue those job opportunities. What are some things that maybe you're talking about in the webinars, maybe you're not? What are some things that these students could do right now to maybe just improve some of their skill set? Maybe it's finding that job, or whatever it may be. Maybe they're preparing themselves right now so that when the opportunity does arise, they're prepared. What are some things that they can do to do that?
That's a really good question. Thank you. A few things come to mind on this. Number one, don't give up applying for those internships and those opportunities. A lot of companies and organizations, specifically in the nonprofit sector, are concerned about future funding right now. We don't know how the economy is going to look once this is over. So there have been some hiring freezes, but most of the organizations I'm working with are still continuing their full-time hiring. And are still going on as normal in that way. When it comes to the internships, just check the internships websites, check their updates, their social media platforms, and see whether, those internships are still available to you. A lot of organizations are still going ahead with summer internships, at least on a provisional basis. Even if your dream internship is not available to you right now, you have this time to be preparing your applications and to be building up your resume so that when we get back to normality, you can get those jobs. Invest in your professional development. Now's the time to be studying, to be learning, to be doing reading, attend webinars and courses. Many organizations are doing those right now. And use this opportunity to bolster your resume. The Leadership Institute offers one-on-one career guidance to young people and to people of all ages. But it's very helpful for young people to use our resources and to reach out to the Leadership Institute for career consultations. Make sure you're as stellar an applicant as possible when the time comes.
And so these one-on-one career development that they can do with the Leadership Institute with people like you, is that still going on right now? So could a student right now reach out to you guys, set up a call, and continue to do this even though they're working from home, studying remotely?
Absolutely, yes, they can. So we've been doing them by telephone, by email, by video chat, however best we can reach people. But we're more than happy to continue doing those consultations. They are totally free and personalized. We go through resumes, practice interviews, cover letters, whatever it is you need help with. If viewers want to go on conservativejobs.com, which is the Leadership Institute's free employment placement service, they can see a link to request a career consultation, as well as a huge number of jobs that are still available to people right now that they can apply to. So I encourage people to check that out and to use us as a free resource.
The Leadership Institute has a ton of trainings online, even before the coronavirus happened. And as you mentioned, you're continuing to do webinars. I was looking at one of Stephen's social media trainings the other day. What are some of your favorites? What are some that you would recommend to maybe a first-time webinar attendee, a first-time trainee, a student who's looking to develop those skills? Which few would you recommend to start off?
Oh, that is a good question. There's some that go into kind of some key career skills. So we look at one on like interviews, onboarding, hiring, and that's helpful because it covers the perspective of both the job seeker and the recruiter. So that's a good way to kind of get some feeling out on that. We're still doing our trainings through careers on kind of professional developments, interviews, networking, that sort of thing. I would say other than career stuff, have a look at the real nature of politics. Have a look at some of the ones that are going to really kind of deepen your thoughts. Communications trainings. We do a large number of digital trainings available to people. We're putting online, for example, our Capitol Hill Digital Boot Camp, which was held last Friday, but we're going to put that online. And that will teach you some really fantastic skills, such as using social media, such as Adobe Photoshop, video editing, writing skills, all stuff which is really valuable in any job that you do. So broaden your horizons and use those resources.
Going forward, how much do you think that this movement of everybody, not only us, but people in all sectors of the economy, I guess, working online, how big of a role do you think online trainings, online webinars, online learning, online skill developing is going to play for the future workforce? Like, is there an aspect of this that you think young people, those wishing to join the workforce should take advantage of now, because it is going to play a huge role in the years to come?
This is something that I've been curious about as the coronavirus continues, and as it looks like most of us full-time or whoever it is going to be working from home for a while, is how this is going to affect the workforce. Is it going to be the case that things will go back to normal, or will many recruiters and many employers start to realize that many of their staff can be trusted to work from home, and that kind of fear of remote work that a lot of employers still have might be lesser because of it? I think in some ways, for those of us, I work very closely with people who work outside of the DC bubble, and the opportunities outside of DC are there, but a lot of people don't realize they're there. There are fantastic organizations like the State Policy Network, like Talent Market and others that work with people closely outside of the DC bubble. That meaning that these online trainings, that allowing an online digital platform for people to access information and skills that are going to improve their employability, is all the more important as the conservative movement and the nonprofit world and grows outside of the DC area. There are many organizations like Texas Public Policy Foundation and others that don't operate in DC. Young America's Foundation, big ally of allies. We still want to make sure our trainings are available to people who work at those organizations. And so it's really grounded it for me how important these online webinars are.
In talking with you, I keep putting myself in the shoes of someone who would be trying to join the workforce right now and thinking of different ways that I could get myself there, even though my time frame, my schedule may be delayed a few months because of everything that's going on. I'm wondering if you've talked to anyone so far if you guys have come up with some creative ideas of ways that people can still pursue those jobs. And I guess what I mean is, for example, in working with allies partner organizations, how effective do you think it would be for someone to say, hey, I want to reach out to one of these organizations. Maybe they can't hire me on the spot, but maybe I could show what type of a future employee I could be. Maybe I could offer to do some research here for them right now from home. Maybe I could offer to work part-time. Do you think that's effective? Do you think that would work? Do you think organizations are looking and willing to take the work of people who are right now sitting at home just to kind of showcase their skills?
Yes, I think they are receptive to that. It depends on the organization, but you're not going to find anybody will condemn you for trying. So reach out to organizations. If you have, for example, particularly if you want to contribute to political thought, if you want to create op-eds, if you want to write for places, I'm sure Campus Reform is still accepting pieces from students, and so if you still want to write and contribute, there are great sites like the Daily Caller, the Washington Examiner, the Washington Times, who accept op-eds on a regular basis, and many others. So if you want to keep contributing to political thought, then definitely do that. And then if you want to still be working with applying for jobs or working with organizations full-time, like I say, I work very closely with Talent Market, who do a great deal of employment, as I said before, outside of the DC area. And there's a lot of remote work job opportunities on there. They work with a lot of employers sympathetic to remote work. They are still very much full throttle in hiring mode. And so don't use this, this strange period that we're in, which is temporary, as an excuse to put your job seeking on hold and to put your contribution to your passions on hold, because the wheels are still turning.
Sure. Ben, I want to thank you for taking the time. We've opened up Campus Reform to questions from students, to people across the country to ask these types of questions. So we may be coming to you in the future for more answers in terms of students who are wanting to enter the workforce. I want to leave the floor open to you now. If there's anything you wanted to touch upon that I didn't ask you about, any sort of information, maybe it's plugging again where people can go at the Leadership Institute to get some of these webinars, to get some of these career consultations. So like I said, thank you for joining us, and I want to leave the floor open to you now for any last thought.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be able to talk to you. And as I said, really, if you want to attend Leadership Institute trainings or webinars, leadershipinstitute.org/training. Many free trainings available right now, available to you. So I encourage you to take advantage of those and work on your professional development. And then also, if the Leadership Institute can be of any assistance to you, I really mean it. These are totally free resources. Conservativejobs.com. Look for jobs on there. Reach out to us through that website and ask for a career consultation, a resume consultation, whatever we can do to advise you and to support you in your career development right now. We are here. And so please take us up on that.
All right, Ben Woodward, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
How's it going? I'm Eduardo Norette with Campus Reform. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to subscribe to get our latest content, click right here. If you're interested in joining our team as a correspondent or an investigator, click there. And if you want to donate to make sure we can create more great content like this, click right here.